Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 7 of Short Sunrise Bible Study for Recovery Ministry. I haven't made videos in the last couple of days. I've been having to hit it pretty early at work. I hadn't got up in time to make videos. Anyway, so today is day 7 finally. Today I'm gonna start off reading from a daily devotional I have that I normally start my day with, and sometimes that's where I get my verses from that I share on here. So today it says, "Lie down in green pastures of peace. Learn to unwind whenever possible, resting in the presence of your shepherd. This electronic age keeps my children wired much of the time, too tense to find me in the midst of their moments. I build into your very being the need for rest. How twisted the world has become when people feel guilty about meeting the basic need. How much time and energy they waste by being always on the go rather than taking time to seek my direction for their lives. I have called you to walk with me down paths of peace. I want you to blaze a trail for others who desire to live in my peaceful presence. I have chosen you less for your strengths than for your weaknesses, which amplify your need for me. Depend on me more and more, and I will shower peace on all your paths." The scriptures that they have going with this, the first one is Psalm 23, 1 through 3. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake." And then Genesis 2, 2 through 3. "By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. And God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done." And then the last one is Luke 1:79. "To shine on those living in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the path of peace." So I'm going to read from the Bible today, Luke 1:68 through 79, to kind of speak on that last verse that was with the daily devotion. So starting at 68, it says, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come to his people and redeemed them. He has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy to our ancestors and to remember his holy covenant, the oath he swore to our father Abraham, to rescue us from the hand of our enemies and to enable us to serve him without fear in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. And you, my child, will be called a prophet of the Most High, for you will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give his people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the rising sun will come to us from heaven, to shine on those living in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the path of peace." So yeah, just like the devotion said, today's world is all about go, go, go. There's, and we do, or I do especially, feel guilty for sitting around, resting, just sitting around, not doing nothing. I feel like there's something that I ought to be doing. I ought to be getting something done. And we shouldn't feel that way. Like the world has screwed our minds up. We should not be thinking that way. We should be grateful for time to rest. And in that time, we should meditate and study the word, meditate on the word, connect with God, talk with God, enjoy the beautiful nature that God has created. Like it's not a waste of time to rest or to be still and quiet. Now, it can be if you do it every day, but like, or all day, every day, then that is a waste of time. But there comes a point, at least, every evening you need rest. Um, at least 1 or 2 days out of the week, you need those like whole days to spend for doing for yourself in the will of God, though. Like, like what, when you have personal things that you need to do, but then you spend that time doing the will of God, spend that time serving God, and not worrying about your job, or not worrying about, oh, I need to stay busy, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this for material things. Worry about what you need to do for God or God's people, or spend it resting, just letting your body rest, staying in meditation with God, um, thinking on how you have been acting and how you need to act, things you need to change and stuff like that. Like, um, anyways, yeah, so there's nothing wrong with being still and quiet sometimes and resting. And the world definitely tries to make us think that it is. So with the verse of Luke 68 through 79, I want to read the notes. It's first his son was filled with the Holy Spirit, and then his wife, and finally Zechariah. His hymn of praise to God emphasized the national benefits of God's gift. God's blessings are not just for individuals to keep to themselves. Although these events represented a new phase in God's program of redemption and deliverance for his people, they fulfilled very old prophecies and very old promises. The coming of the Messiah was an opportunity for the nation to serve without fear of destruction from its enemies, and to serve in holiness and righteousness through Christ's work on the cross. Zechariah directly addressed his son, proclaiming his purpose as a prophet of God and a preparer of the way of the Messiah. Probably as a result of long father and son conversations about his unique role, John grew up with a clear sense of his identity. So that kind of broke that down. But so yeah, God wants us to spend time resting so that he can connect with us, because as long as we're on go 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 mode and our brain is wired for work, go go go, then he sometimes cannot reach us. We're not going to hear him because our minds are too busy. They're too wrapped up in the world. But when you be still and be quiet, then you can hear the Lord. Then the Lord can connect to you and speak to you, and you will feel what he is saying to you. So I like, there's a phrase in the AA Big Book that says, "Be still and know I am God." And for addicts, that right there should speak very loudly, because that we were never still, we were never quiet, we were never at peace. We was always go 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 go, because we had to get what we needed. And so therefore we never felt God, we never felt peace, we never felt the presence of anything except for darkness. And so it's be still and know I am God. When you are still and quiet and meditate, you will feel the presence of a higher power, of a power in the universe that from your heart is the creator and the one who keeps everything going. And that power will help you come out of the darkness and will help you build a new life. He will give you a life that you could never even dream of. It's not always good. Like, it's not, you don't get a life of milk and honey, like the way that we interpret it in our brains most of the time. Life's not all great and dandy when you get clean and sober. Life still sucks sometimes. Sometimes, a lot of times, but you still have the peace and serenity of being able to be still, be quiet, meditate, rest, because you're not constantly worried about getting that next fix, getting that next drink. You're not worried about what's gonna happen when what's gonna happen if you miss a little play you have, or if you miss work, you don't have the money to get what you need, and you're gonna, like, it's just always something. But God will take that. God will give you rest if you come to Him and turn your life to Him, and He will help you get right. And He will help you through the hard times. I still struggle with the hard times myself. It takes time. That's something you have to learn, and something you have to work at to be good at. But because I still struggle through hard times, I still go back to some of my old ways, instantly get negative, depressed, or find all the bad in what's going on in my life and focus on that instead of the good. and but God is working in my life. He has given me the strength to notice that and be able to come out of that without staying there for long, like forever. Like, I can realize what I'm doing to myself, and I can do what I need to come back around to the light, to the positive, and get my mind right. Because mainly of my sobriety. If I was still drinking and using, then I would just go get another drink or go get another fix to kill the emotions that I'm feeling, or to kill all the stress and all, and then that would just cause more stress, and it's just a vicious circle, you know. But with my sobriety, with God, I can instead recognize what's going on and stop, and then start back where I need to, instead of keeping on in that vicious circle. Um, Anyways, I hope y'all got something from the daily devotion and from the verses today. I hope something in there reaches somebody that needs. And yes, so sorry about all the going off topic and stuff, but anyways, that's what God led me to talk about today, I feel like, and what I need to get off my chest. And so y'all have a great day, guys, and remember, rest, meditate, be still, and know He is God. God bless.